Recording in progress.
What a whopper echo off of your thing there when it said that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle Plug podcast. It's time to upset all the marks and all the dinosaurs once again because it's round 4 with Ebeneeza the Geeza. And of course, this is the retirement tour, so we need to get as much content out of this cunt as possible before he decides to leave the wrestling landscape. Ebeneeza, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm leaving wrestling, but I'm not leaving Wrestle Plug. There's a difference there, honey bun.
Nobody leaves the Wrestle Plug. You understand me? You can't leave. That's just how it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Once you're in, it's tough to get out.
It's the Jeffrey Dahmer house of podcasts, isn't it? To be honest.
Everyone loves a villain.
Yes, they fucking do. And you can't have a villain without everyone's perfect hero. The man who eats like a fridge freezer. The man with the only subscription to Deezer. The people pleaser. The mother-in-law pleaser. The consensual panty line teaser. Ebeneeza, the full-time geezer. So, you haven't been on for quite a few months, actually, I've noticed. So we got plenty to catch up on. What have you been up to, mate? I hear you're now into golf, like a proper retirement specialist.
Yeah, I've give up the football because of what would you call it? Politics. I've given up. I'm giving up wrestling due to politics and a back injury. And golf is my main thing, even though the injury started with golf. So work that one out.
Fucking gnarly, innit? It is what it is what it is. Just politics, just back injury. You feel like it's time to call it a day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not wrestling enough for many people to like care about me going up and down the country and for it to affect too many people. But and like I say, the back injury, I went to a sports therapist a few weeks back, and they told me that I've got sciatica, got problems in my lower back, problems around me like hip region. Everything's like sort of like going down my right leg, so I've got to take time out and recuperate. I've got to rehabilitate. I've got myself a foam roller, got myself some stretch bands and everything. So I'm doing everything in the evening and whatnot before bedtime. Yeah, they've got to do all of that. All the politics is a load of bullshit with like people like bitching about each other. No one's helping each other out and shit like that. It's a bit it's getting boring, and I can't wait to get out of it.
Yeah, I must admit, it has kind of questioned my sanity in this business. I'm blessed that I work in so many different places because if I didn't, I'd be the same as you. Like, if the work rate and the workload wasn't there, I'd just be like, okay, cool, I'm done with this shit because you're all a bunch of fucking narcs. Narcs and marks. That's all we are.
But
Yeah.
the difference is like, well, I say I've got a day job at the moment. I'm going through a little bit of a spell, but wrestling's your bread and butter, isn't it? So,
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to walk away from something when you've made it your life. And
hmm.
maybe some people might argue that was a mistake to make it my life. But at the same time, you know what my life was like before that? Nothing. It was like, just being a fucking postman working for a fucking, piece of shit cunt who didn't give a fuck. You were just a number, and I just didn't want to be a number, And at least with your workplace as well, you're blessed to kind of be part of a process. You're not just another fucking a
Hmm.
cog that you can just discard, but in somewhere like Raw Mail, which by the way is fucking dog shit. Yeah, no, it was never fun in the first place. So this is, despite all the drama, still a massive upgrade to what I was doing. Now, speaking of drama, me and you worked a show recently, didn't we? Behind closed,
Oh, giggity, giggity.
trying to upset the marks even more. So, obviously, we all know about it. We can't talk about certain things because of legal ramifications, but we can certainly give our fucking opinions on the show itself. Did you have fun wrestling Jay Knox? What's it like knowing that you're the first guy to wrestle him in the mainstream since everything that went down?
I am truly blessed to be part of his journey back into wrestling. I'm thankful that he chose me to be his first person to wrestle, and I can safely say that the guy is one of the safest people that I've wrestled. He's not got the temper that so many people talk about. He's not the narcissist that will turn around and say, this is what we're doing, we're not doing anything else. He's such a great guy, and he was so good to work with. I mean, we both just like, we both said, fuck it, let's go out there, let's just have a laugh, let's take the rotten piss and make everyone else giggle. But you know me, if I go out there, all I want to do is see a smile on people's face and know that they enjoyed their time. And I don't think one person at the end, when we all went out there to talk to everyone, I don't think I had one bad thing. Everyone was good to see. Everyone enjoyed seeing Jay back in business. And I tell you what, Jay had the biggest pop of the night, and it was really, really nice to see. It was really warming to see that someone like him was to able to have the biggest pop of the night, and um all of the support from everyone with the all the fans and stuff. His promo was pretty spot on, as well, about, you know, enjoying the fact that everyone's supporting him, and anyone else that's not supporting him, they don't have to, but they can quite simply get fucked, which the same as all of us. Every single one of us would say the exact same. He's thankful to be back in the business, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with him going forward itself. I'm really pleased to see he is back, and he deserves a second chance, same as everyone.
Yeah, he served his time. You know, he paid his debt to society, as they like to say. What I find interesting is so many people were sort of not supporting him or saying, you know, they didn't like his attitude when he sort of said, look, you're either with me or go away. He's not saying you're against me. What he's saying is, if you don't want to support me, that's fine, but please get out of my fucking way and let me get on with my life. That's all he was asking. And so many people took that as, we have a fucking right to dictate what you do with your life. No, you actually fucking don't, mate. Like, you know what? And this applies to anyone who's sitting there thinking that, because I don't give a fuck at this point. If you think you have a right to dictate to someone like that after they've paid their dues as well, and they've clearly shown remorse for what they've done and made a huge mistake, let's not forget, you know, I love how people on the internet and people that might be in close friend circles or whatever, they're happy to say all this fucking shit. But at the end of the day, what do you think is going to affect him more? Your opinions or the fact he spent 6 months in the slammer? You know, if I'd
The
spent
man's
6 months
been
in prison, I wouldn't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah, the man's been through it. The man has seen a darker side of the world, and for him to then come out and see who his real friends are, that's probably more warming to him, knowing who really is there for him and who was just there to get bookings here, get bookings there, you know, to I don't know, get a lift from him, you know, all the little minor shit is when push comes to shove, when they're slagging him rotten and telling him to get fucked and shit like that. It's not gonna. It's no skin off of his nose, really. I mean, the way I see it, there's three types of people that you see come out of prison. You get one, the reoffenders, the ones that just could just love being inside. You get two, people that come out and just go into hiding. You don't hear anything about them. They just stay in their own little shell. Or three, the people that come out and they actually want to make a difference. They actually want to make a change to themselves and the people around them. And Jay has done exactly that. He has done nothing but like get everything going up and up. And I commend him for his efforts. I've got massive respect for him, huge respect.
We're very outspoken about what we think about our business, isn't we? A lot of these people are scared to say what they think about the wrestling business. What do you think about people saying, you know, if you work for this show, you won't work for me. If you work for BCD, you shouldn't be allowed to work in professional wrestling?
That's fine, but at the end of the day, if you're an independent show which, you know, no one either has heard about, or nobody would travel so far to even give a fuck about, why should wrestlers care either, whether they're getting booked or not? I mean, I'm not being funny. I've said it before on a podcast ages ago, and it grinds my gears when like these promotions don't work together. They're just out there to ruin each other's reputations. They're out there to ruin the reputations of each other's talents and whatnot coming through. And this whole blacklists thing, I think it's a load of bullshit. And I mean, I'm not being funny, but you know, if you're there to make a blacklist, on other places, it tells more about you than what it does of other people. It
I
shows
mean,
how petty you are.
first thing I'm going to say to people who say, if someone comes up to me and says, you work for BCD, you were the MC, you were the host, so therefore we feel like from a reputation standpoint, we can't use you. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. But don't come crying to me when you make a mistake and you expect everybody to forgive you. That's what I'm going to say. Because ultimately, everyone's going to make mistakes. You know, some of these
Yeah,
companies that are coming out and saying you shouldn't work for them, blah, 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 have used people that are in speaking out. They've used people that were in different fucking things themselves, people that might have been to prison, whatever it might have been. And it's that thing of like, kind of have a look at your own fucking glass house before you start throwing stones at our one. Like, because
yeah,
that's ultimately what's happening here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not being funny. If someone turned around to me now and said, "We're not going to use you because we'll never use you because you worked for BCD," I'd just be like, "Do you know what? Didn't even know you were in the first place. Fuck you."
No, I've noticed that actually. It is like the overwhelming majority of people who have a problem with you working for something, you wouldn't work with them in the first place anyway. Because we, at the end of the day, we're all individuals. And this, again, it comes down to this thing. I've said this for fucking years because I guarantee people will watch this and they're like, he's throwing shade at us. Fuck off. Grow up. Like, I'm not. What I'm saying is, and I've said this for years, I've always stood by this, it's called independent wrestling. So
Yeah,
why can't I be independent? Why can't I make my own choices? Why can't I do what I want? Why can't your people do what they want? Like that's not my issue. That's a you issue. That ain't a me issue. Like it's frustrating that people don't understand the simple premise. I'll tell you what, if you want people to only work for certain promotions or you want them to only work for you, cool, write up a contract and pay them properly then. Pay them a fucking working wage. Then I will happily, like, if any number of these companies I work for came up to me and said, right, Nix, we want you to work for us exclusively. Cool. Here's how much you need to pay me to basically cover all of my expenses and my livelihood costs. Until you're willing to do
mm,
that, shut the fuck up and get back in your lane. That's all I've got to
yeah,
say about it. Get back in your fucking
yeah.
lane. You don't pay my rent.
Because
You don't pay my bills. You don't fucking drive the car for me when I need to look after my friends or my family and stuff like that. You don't put food on my table. I fucking put food on my table. So don't dictate to me how I make my fucking money because I don't
yeah,
dictate how you make your money.
I mean, I'm not gonna mention other people's names and other companies and shit like that. I'm just gonna go off of like my personal preferences, what's happened to me in the past. And when I first started with Rev Pro, and I had Andy Simmons as my trainer and Andy Quilden as my promoter, and I respect them both for what they've done. Um, Even though speaking out got a hold of certain people, I still respect like some of the things that they've done in British history, blah blah blah. um Simmons once found out that I was wrestling for, I think it was Premier Promotions, and I was only in like a little rumble, so no one even knew I was there. But he wasn't happy that I went there first rather than wrestle for him first, like on home turf. I
Mm.
can kind of understand it, but then I know so many people that have wrestled for that company which don't want to go anywhere because they're afraid they're never going to get booked from RevPro again and they'll never get to the high points. It's not the case because some people have come out and proven that they can go elsewhere. Some people are just a little bit timid and scared to go other places, or people just don't want to book them because of that reputation. But I don't understand the people that, like you say, they'll go elsewhere to broaden their horizons, so to speak, to get out of their comfort zone, and the people they're under will put a leash on them, basically. Be like, oh, you can't go there unless we're involved, or you can't go there because you're part of our property. And like you said there, we're all independent wrestlers. We're not contracted to wrestle anywhere particularly. If I was going somewhere tomorrow and decided today that I didn't want to wrestle for them, I can. It'll be shit on my part, but there's nothing in a contract saying that I'll get fined and shit like that. There's no shackles and no holding any of us back.
That's the thing. Like we're all included in this statement. none of us are important enough and above the process. None of us. None of us are above the process of life. We all fucking get born and we all fucking die. And it's that thing of what we do in between should be our own decisions of our own making and not what other people dictate to us. And that's what winds me up when I hear bullshit all the time on the spectrum, or I get sent screenshots or whatever it might be. It's like, I'm not fucking dictating to anyone what they should do, where they should be. What I do is I fix things. That's what I do. That's why I get the nickname the Fixer, because what I do is I
Yeah,
also
the fixer.
and I also help people, you know? Like, I'm a star maker, not a star denier. Like, I kick doors open for people and I say, here's an opportunity, mate. Go for it if you want. Now, if you don't want to take the opportunity, that's fine. It's no skin off my back. But, you know, for people to be like, to make these hilarious accusations or just get so fragile within themselves, or, you know, poke around my social media and stuff like that and say, oh, he's taking cheap shots. Well, okay, that's fine. If that's what you want to think, that's fine. I can't dictate to you and I can't control how you feel about what you see from my stuff. But ultimately, I know within myself 100%, I'm just doing my thing. You know, I'm not throwing your name under the bus. I don't care. I really don't. And, you know, I've had a multitude of high-end professionals on this podcast, you know, guys who have won world titles on mainstream companies, and they've all said, like, yeah, no, I go where the fuck I want to go. So if it's
Yeah.
okay for them, ultimately, I don't care what smaller companies, including myself, think in that regard. You know, I don't understand. We can't live and let live, can we? We can't. We've got to fucking dictate to people what they got to do. We've got to stick our noses in. We've got to tell them where they got to be and all this. And everyone's got an opinion on what they think is great wrestling. That's what makes wrestling great, is the fact it's subjective. We all find different things interesting. But just because I don't like AEW doesn't mean I have a fucking banner outside that says, if you watch AEW, I'll kill you. I don't care.
One of I'll tell you one thing is the company that me and Jay wrestled on, that was one of the funnest and laid back shows that I have done in a very long time. It was so smooth. It was so like the atmosphere was so happy. Like there was nothing. There was no bad blood or anything. There might have been a little bit of anxiety from Jay beforehand, which is to be expected because he doesn't know how it's going to turn out. But the crowd loved it. There was a massive turnout. We all enjoyed each other's company. We were all having a good laugh and giggle. And I don't even think we ended up leaving till about 12 after 12, did we? Because we were just having so much fun. We forgot what was happening.
Got home
And it
about
weren't
5 in
even
the
that
morning.
long of a show.
Yeah, like, you know, anyone who wants to see it can see it. There's the photo of all the crew in the ring. There's a lot of incredible, professional, and great people in that photo. They want to act like, you know, like, are we going to sit here and say that someone like Roger Sears, who's now the BCD champion, isn't the consummate professional? Of course he fucking is. It's one of the best fucking professional wrestlers I've ever met. Emphasis on that professional as well. Band, he's still an
He is
independent talent.
so professional. He's so professional, and he deserves the belt that he got. Although I will say the week before I beat him, so
Yeah, so it's muddied the field a bit, isn't it? It's like, who's next in line? But, you know, so yeah, but yeah, no, it's so. Would you say like 100% a fun experience wrestling Jay Knox? Would you recommend it for other people who might be on the fence in terms of, oh, should I get in the ring with him? Should I work for BCD? What would be your opinion of that?
my opinion is that he is completely and utterly safe. He's really good fun to work with. You know, if you want to have a serious match, I'm pretty sure he can do that because he's very much an old school sort of wrestle what's it called? World of sport kind of like guy. He loves the talking to each other during the match and like I don't know, having that sort of technicality with each other where it's all fluent. Me, I'm not a tech guy. I don't really enjoy it that much. It's not my cup of tea. I just like going out there and just making people laugh. That's all I like. So like there was a few times I got in there with him and I got confused. But nevertheless, he's so fluent and he's so good at what he does that he rectified all of that just himself. He rectified my mistakes. He's that good. I would recommend him to anyone. And if anyone was to be a little bit anxious about getting in there with him, there's no need to. of course, everyone's going to have their thoughts and feelings. I didn't have no anxiety or disregard whatever beforehand because I'm friends with Jay. I like Jay as a person. And I put all of my trust and faith in him, and everything was just completely fine. I'm not being funny. If you have a bad match with each other, anyone gets annoyed. There's so many people. I've been annoyed with a match before. Everyone's been annoyed with a match before. Doesn't make you a bad person. If you were to have a bad match with Jay and he got the arsehole backstage, tough. Like it's just tough shit. It's just the way of the world, isn't it? But there's never gonna be this sort of case now where he's gonna go out there and he's gonna do exactly what he done beforehand because he's learned from his mistakes. He knows exactly what to do now. Like he just knows he needs to keep calm and collective like he has. I mean, fuck me, I accidentally like slapped him in the throat at one stage. And then my arsehole tightened, thinking, "Oh my good God, like I'm about to get the hammer." But then I've done it again, apologized to him, and we both just had a fucking massive giggle over it. And and that's what I mean. He's completely different to who he was beforehand. He's completely changed, and I don't think anyone should go in there feeling untrusted or feeling anxious about wrestling him because he will look after you as well as you should look after him as well.
Got a bright future, hasn't it? If it goes the right way and it's run the right way, and we feel like it will be because it's got so many different professionals with so many different talents involved, all the way from myself to Jay and in between. There's so many different people who add so many different things to this product.
Hmm.
Who stood out for you on the night? If you sort of isolate, take away your match, what stands out to you from that locker room? Who's standing out to you? Who do you look at and think, you know what, it's okay if I'm leaving the wrestling business because people like that are going to carry it forward?
Uh, Always Roger. Roger is always going to be a standout. He's a fantastic wrestler.
What a fucking
Um,
lad.
to be fair, I don't think there was one match for me where anyone done anything wrong, or anything was like completely bad. Like you had Big Matt who made his debut,
Mate.
and he stood out. He stood out for me because he done really well. He gave the crowd what they wanted, which was really good. He showed off his monstrous ability, and he proved in the last match that he could do a bit of comedy in there as well, which was really good. Um, Cam, I've always rated Cam, even though he's a little shit. I've always rated Cam, and I think he's going to be one of our future prospects in British wrestling. He like with his training aspects and stuff, and who he's wrestled and who he trains with. Um, who else you got Ajax. Ajax is phenomenal. Ajax is fantastic. You know, there are things that on everyone that need to be worked on. Me, I fucking need to work on my stamina and shit like that. He just needs to work the crowd a bit more. That's all it is. Otherwise, he's an absolute he's a pucker wrestler. He's a fantastic wrestler. And I lose my tits every single time I see his finisher. Oh, what something to be fucking looked at.
Yeah.
Uh, who else is it? Obviously, Jay. Jay's fantastic at the best of times. Tornado Kid. He's like from watching him when he first started. He's shining through now. He's shining. He's shining a light. And someone actually said to me as well because he was against Big Matt, and they said, "Oh, it's pretty much a squash match." And I turned around and said, "I'm not being funny, but even a squash match, you can get over." I mean, when I wrestled Jay, I pretty much got squashed the whole entire time. I think I did a jumping net breaker and that was it. Other than that, he took the role for everything else, and I still stood out because I just made people laugh and I made people giggle. You can stand out by being squashed. You don't
Yeah.
have to be the number one person in the ring. You don't have to be the high flying schizomaniac or whatever. You just have to have the crowd behind you. And I don't need to wrestle. I can just go around shouting geezer all the time and everyone loses their mind. And that's not me blowing my own trumpet. That's because I know I am good at what I do.
Yeah, you're a great argument for the investment of variety in wrestling. Like you and Jay can go out there and have this hilarious match. Then we can have this very serious kind of angry squash match where, you know, Tornado Kid's fighting from underneath, desperately trying to survive against a monster. Then we have this technical classic between Cameron Anderson and Roger Sears. Then you have just two whopping great units trying to twat each other around in Benjamin Stone and Ajax. Like one of the most hard-hitting matches I've recorded. Like, you know, if
so
people
good.
if like, you know, I get it. Like, you know, they might look at an Ajax or a Benjamin Stone and they're not as aesthetically pleasing because they're not jacked to the gills. They're not on the gas, you know, whatever. Don't fucking have to be in this day and age. Look at Kevin Owens. He just main evented WrestleMania again. Like Kevin Owens isn't a body guy. I mean, he's not fucking, you know, a fat dumpy shit, but he's also not a fucking Adonis like a Rock or a Cody Rhodes or a Roman Reigns. Like this attitude of, you know, what makes a star, it's all subjective. One man's gold is another man's turd and vice versa. And it's that thing of, if you don't like somebody, that's fine. But ultimately, somebody else might like that person. That's always been my mentality of, yeah, sure, you might not want to use a guy like that, or you might not want to use a guy like Benjamin Stone, for instance. You know, like he comes out and he's this suplex machine, this ferocious animal. And his look doesn't suggest that. He's got a lovely tash going on. He looks like Tyler Bate, you know, looks like a proper old school bully, you know, but
I love that tash. That gets me horny.
Yeah, you can see just from his missus' face, she loves it and all, loves a tickle. Marvelous. Well done. Well done to both of you. Who doesn't want to be tickled downstairs by Benjamin Stone? Come on, what a unit.
But even with all of the trainees that are up and coming in that place as well, you can tell that they've got it. They just need to get out there and forget about all the bullshit. They need to forget about the fear factor and things like that. Because it's the same as anything. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I think it took me, I think I want to say about 4 or 5 matches before I could go out there and completely forget all of the fear and all of the bullshit. I still get anxiety before I go out there. And once I'm out there, anything goes. It is absolutely brilliant. And this is why I enjoy wrestling debuts and I enjoy being there to see other people's debuts because it's nice to see who's ready, who's next. And the people that aren't ready after one show, there's just something to work on. It's something to work on. And yeah, I enjoy watching a debut match. It's a really good, like a really big thing for me because I remember what it's like as a debut, and I remember debuting people, and it's something that stays in your mind every single time because you can either have an outstanding debut or you can have a shit show to work on, and the people that work on it are the people that come back and are the absolute mustard.
What do you think you'll miss most? Are you worried that there might be a point where you're like, I need to come back? Do you feel like you're ever like, is the door going to be completely shut or would it be partially open just in case?
The door won't be completely shut at all. I mean, I'll still come to certain shows. If I turn up at a show and they haven't got an MC, I'll MC. If I turn up to a show and someone wants me to be that, wants me to be like a manager for a debut or whatever, or to come out there and just talk shit, I don't mind being a manager. As long as I'm not in the ring and hurting myself and making myself worse, I don't mind any of that. No, it will never be completely shut. And once my hips and that are like fully in balance again, then I don't mind. I wouldn't mind coming back and maybe wrestling for a few more years. But at the moment, it's more of a semi-retirement, and I'm not going to be one of these. But I think we spoke about it before. You asked me if someone was to say to me, I'm going to put the belt on you, and there's only 2 shows left at the end of the year. By the end of the year, I'll turn it down straight away, or I'll take it and then just fucking leave it in the ring, because what's the point of me having a belt now that I've only got a year left? I'm already a title holder, so eventually I'll lose it. Or if I keep it by the end of the year, I'll just vacate it and give them both to big old Bazzarini.
Yeah, he needs. Oh man, Baz is going to be lost without you, isn't he? Like,
We're just going to have to like bring someone else in to the Lost Geezers, and I'll just be one of the managers.
You would be perfect as the manager, like yeah. And then we just need who's going to fill that void? Who's got a sort of a Mexican geezer mentality? I'm trying to think who's Latin enough to take that role.
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you what, he's one of the funniest guys when it comes to like on the mic, though. I can't remember, I think it was the last show when we retained our we retained our belts. He was on the mic and he started talking a different language and it weren't Mexican. And he's looked me straight in the eyes and he's gone, "Oh no, that was Japanese." And I absolutely lost it. It absolutely killed me. And then he said it again in Mexican. I just looked at myself. I don't know what you mean. It's just, I think we accept.
He's
Oh,
yeah, there's things that make you pop in wrestling, like making my MC debut with BCD was cool for me because it's like I finally completed the Grand Slam of doing everything in wrestling, as an individual. And now I suppose the only thing that people will say is run your own shows, isn't it? But for me, what really stood out was it's just that little moment when you're like, your mum, like I've never heard anyone. It's funny, isn't it? You'd think that would have been shouted by now in this business. I've never seen it, I've never heard it. So, and that's the lovely thing about wrestling. You can always find these first. I don't know. I wish people would enjoy it more, I wish people would. I swear I remember getting into this because I wanted to enjoy it, because I wanted it to be a passion. I wanted it to be like, a hobby that could somehow also pay the bills. Like, there's nothing better than
mm,
doing what you love and getting paid for it. And it's sad, isn't it? When you see all this hate and all this misery and all this backstabbing, you just think, why aren't we all supposed to be just enjoying this shit? Like, don't get me wrong, we all have a bitch, we all have a whine, people wind us up, but ultimately, we're all just trying to fucking get on with it. Like, and if you don't want to watch it or you don't like it, you don't have to. That's the joy of it. It's amazing. People have a choice as to what they want to consume, and yet they still fucking watch it and get offended. And they know they're going to get offended. They know they're going to get upset. People will probably watch this and they'll choose to be offended. I'm like, you had a choice. Turn it off. Don't watch Wrestle Plug. Like, I don't care if I have 1,000 subs or not. I really don't.
no, no.
If you don't like this
I did
content,
have a good time.
fuck off. Seriously, just do something else with your
Yeah.
life. Go and take up checkers, innit? Like, Jesus.
Well, the thing with wrestling is the majority of people get into wrestling so we can forget about the real world. And it's a real shame when the real world follows you into it.
Yeah. Yeah, people allow their realities, their miseries, their anxieties to, there's nobody saying that you're not entitled to feel those things, but don't let them overhaul what you're doing. Why do we go and play football? Or why do you play golf? Why do I play on the Xbox of an evening? Why do I go down a pub or go to a bar? All these things are designed so that you don't spend your entire time hating on the world or hating on the realities of life. You find your little comfort zones, you find places to escape. Escapism is the key word there. And I just get so fucking bored of it. Bored is what I am. Extremely bored.
Politics is the worst thing in the world, but if you don't have politics, the world doesn't spin around.
No, it does not. But then sometimes that might be a better thing. So we shall lead the uprising when the zombie apocalypse happens. By the way, how's the wind brand doing?
Uh, Nothing at the moment. Like when the thing with the Win brand, me and Joe were both completely lazy when it comes to social media. Even on my personal social media, I don't post anything because I can't be bothered. I'd rather just go on Instagram and watch some funny reels because like just to like remind me of nostalgia or like see what sort of geniuses there are nowadays, not the fucking weird creepy cunts on TikTok. But
I feel personally attacked.
oh, it's full of nonsense. Oh, I hate it. Not saying that everyone is, but the majority of them are all groomers. No names, no names given, because I'll end up getting in more trouble than I already am.
trying to
But you
trying to
know,
think who's on TikTok that we know. Pretty much everyone, isn't it? So
yeah, I'm the only one that's not.
yeah, I know. So are you suggesting that ultimately TikTok is a breeding ground for paedophiles? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Fair enough. So, when
there are some.
and then you've got the tash, you want to be careful with that, huh? By the way, Vince
There
McMahon
are some.
ripping off your gimmick, bruv.
There are some good stuff on TikTok. Don't get me wrong; like it's the same as the Instagram reels. I famously use Instagram for all the reels, but I don't know. I just feel
I just
like
don't see
there's
a
more
difference.
shit.
I think they're all the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. But no,
Got it
with
with
the win
YouTube,
brand,
man.
like
Yeah,
I
with the
say,
shorts, YouTube shorts, that's doing the same thing, same principle. Have
yeah,
you noticed how it's all designed now to be portrait, so that you can just go.
mm,
It's all designed
yeah.
to mind and make it easier for you to consume
It's
media and not do what you're supposed to be doing.
well, who wants to? What would you rather do? Watch a 30-second video that will make you laugh, or watch a video for 8 minutes that might do you good, but you can't be, but you haven't got the mental capacity to watch it for that long anymore.
Well, I
Because
don't
now
want to.
they've made shorts, you don't want to watch a long video, do you?
That's the thing. I don't ever want to be one of those people who doesn't have the mental capacity to consume something, because ultimately it'll get to the point where TV shows and that will become redundant. Nobody will go to the cinema because they won't have the patience for it. Like, can you
Hmm.
imagine not having the patience to watch a 2 hour movie? Like, these things are masterpieces. They're made so beautifully. I worry that our general sort of livelihood it'll get to that point where we'll just all be. You've seen the I think it's Pixar DreamWorks, the Wall-E movie, with the little robot. And there's
Oh,
that,
I love it.
and like when they get on the big ship and everyone's like fat and they're in their things, like
Yeah,
giving it the full Carl Wilkinson with no legs, love it. And but it's that thing of, wow, fuck me, they're bang on the money, because that's where we're going. We're becoming more lazy, more sedentary. Like, we're not moving, like we're not doing anything. And yeah, no, I'm sort of deliberately trying to push my mindset away from that, because I feel
yeah,
like eventually, if we carry on, we will end up just like that. We are the laziest we've ever been as a society, and yeah, social media is crippling us in that regard. And I think it's actually quite good and quite healthy that you can't be bothered to go on social media and post stuff all the time, because there are people like, I'm probably guilty of it, but there are people I know who put up like 10 times the amount I do. They're always posting content or something. I think if you're creating original content, that's one thing, but if you're literally just like, you can tell by someone's Twitter feed, retweet, 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 and they're just going scroll, scroll, scroll. Like, it's
yeah,
just like, wake up, man! Like, come on, come outside, come and do something.
yeah. I mean, like I say, all it takes is a few seconds to actually post something. But I'm one of those people. If I'm going to put something on my Instagram, like on my story or whatnot, it's going to be some funny shit. Like I don't know, someone makes a brilliant point of how backwards the evolution's going, to the someone done a remix of the Star Wars El Cantina with
Oh, the canteen.
like El Cantina with I can't remember what. Oh, I think it was Shots by Lil Jon, and fucking that was such a great video. I thought it's nostalgia. Like someone had to do it, and it's taken them this long. I'm surprised no one done it beforehand, but it was funny as shit. And I had a few people message me going, "Oh, what a banging mix!" And I'm thinking, yeah, like I ain't spoke to you in fucking years, but it brings everyone back together.
Yeah, there's always
But
going to
like I
be good and
say,
bad.
that's the reason why me and Joe, because we're so lazy. That's why the Win brand, a lot of people don't know about it because we just don't put it on social media, and it is a shame. Um, and not only that, we've only got two products. We've got the hats, we've got the t-shirts, four different color hats, four different color t-shirts. Um, Soon enough, I'm hoping to start taking orders custom made, because my missus, she's got a little crew cut machine. I need to get the vinyl stuff. We need to like figure out how it's going to work. But no, nonetheless, hopefully we can start doing that, earning a bit more money out of it. Then we're going to start going along the route of a sports brand and not a casual brand, because more people enjoy the sports kind of stuff. I play golf on a where do I play golf on a council course, and with a council course you don't have to wear all the McGoverns, you don't have to wear a shirt, you don't have to wear trousers, you don't even have to wear the shoes. You can wear whatever you want on a council course, And for my brand, that would be perfect. Like the hats are already good enough for a golfer, but a t-shirt you can only wear on a council course. But the t-shirts, they're lovely to wear in the gym because of the way they feel. They're nice to lounge around in because of the way they feel. They're nice to just go out and nip to the shops to go and see your friends, even to go out to the pub. Like the t-shirts themselves are great quality, and in the end, I'll end up getting shirts and stuff done. But that being said, my idea is I want to make Win the sports brand because of the name and the way it all comes across. But with actual casual going out sort of stuff, smart casual stuff, I want to create something new. But that'll be years down the line when we're actually doing something proper with the Win brand. Until then, I've got a prototype tracksuit, which is absolutely lovely, and people keep asking me for. Like we can't afford it. He's got a nice thick jumper, black jumper, wind jumper that people keep asking for. Can't afford it. It's until people buy the jumper, until people buy the t-shirts and buy the hats, so we've got enough money to put back into the business, because it's not going to be profitable for years. We won't ever profit off it for fucking absolute years. And the only time we'll profit off it is when we've got a massive range of stuff. I'm talking shorts, socks, leggings, tracksuits, jumpers, beanie hats, the whole McGovern's, even gloves and stuff. Once we've got like a whole sports range down, then we can think about profiting. But until then, everything is going back into the pot.
Yeah, starting a business is tough. You gotta, it's a learning process. What works for some people doesn't work for others. The mistakes of some are the successes of others as well. And like Wrestle Plug, like we've been going over 6 years now. Wrestle Plug doesn't make any money, never has. There's this cool merch if you want it and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, I sort of used Wrestle Plug as my own personal platform to then propel myself into a business where I can make money myself using and design. And for better or for worse, sometimes that's wonderful, and other times it's not flourishing as well. That's again volatile nature of business, but it's a hell of a lot fucking better than working at Asda for fucking 50 hours a week, or working for Royal Mail again like I used to. Like, no, I'm all right, thanks. Like being a sole trader, being self-employed, that's quite cool. Like it takes a lot, and there's a lot of effort that goes into it, as you'll know better than most. But there's all that paperwork and stuff. You got to fill out so many different things, but ultimately, it's worth it in the long run. Just to be able to say, I'm my own fucking boss, I'm my own man. I'd rather do it that way than just, I don't know, bend the fucking knee.
I've been self-employed since I was 19 years old, and I'm 28 now. No, I'm 29 now. Fucking hell, I'm getting on, ain't I? Yeah,
Talk to
I've
me
been
about that.
self-employed for 10 years, and I've been getting weekly pay for 10 years. If I don't go out there and earn money, I don't have money. I don't get holiday pay, I don't get sick pay. But I kind of like that, because the weekly pay, I have money to pay off stuff whenever I want and shit like that. If I don't earn money, then I know that, what's the word? If I go out there and earn the money, I know that I've done something for it. If I'm taking holiday pay, it's a perk. It's a perk that people shouldn't take lightly. Whilst for me, I feel like if I was to get holiday pay, I feel like I'm cheating the system because I'm not working for that.
Because you're not independent. All of a sudden, you're dependent on something else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, have been a couple of companies that have approached me and asked me to, be a HGV driver for them, or this, that, and the other. It's on the cards. It's a little bit less money, but you get holiday pay, you get a pension, you get this, that, and the other. But I've got to leave home at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not home until 5, maybe 6 in the evening. My work at the moment, I'm leaving home at 5:45 in the morning. Most of the time I'm home by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got my whole evening to do whatever the hell I want, and it's absolutely lovely. the last 2 months or whatever, I've been getting home about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Been getting paid a full day's rate because I'm self-employed and I'm on day rate, and I've been going straight from here to golf, and I've been coming home, settling down, watching TV with the missus, or going to the pub and whatnot. I'm just like I'm thoroughly enjoying myself because I've got all of them hours. The only thing I've got to do, which takes a bit out of me, is I've got to get up at 5 in the morning. And once the body clock sets in, it's a piece of piss.
How important has the missus been to, how you live your life now and stuff, like existentially? Like, people don't realize that relationships can be so important to how we build our routines or build our livelihoods and things like that. Like, obviously I know your missus well, she's a wonderful person, I get on with her very well, but what's kind of like the mindset there? How important do you think it's been to have her there for you?
Oh, it has been important because, we've got this thing at home where she's the cook and I'm the cleaner. I don't mind cleaning because I can just put my headphones in and I can do like dilly dally all over the place and, just have a little boogie whilst doing the dishes and stuff like that. She's the cook because she really puts her passion into it. I don't like cooking. I fucking hate it for the death. If it was down to me, I'll put a beef joint in the cooker for 45 minutes a day, and that's it. I'll have a beef joint every day.
I can
Like,
hear
oh,
Ajax crying somewhere in a corner because he's a very passionate cook.
yeah, exactly. So I hate cooking, like, and that's one thing that makes it easier for us both. She works from home 3 days a week, so by the time I'm back, we'll play games with each other or whatnot, or I'll be straight out on the golf course and I'll see her when I get back. It's been a little bit different lately because I've become more social. I'm doing competitions on weekends now, so I don't sleep in as much anymore. Um, or I'll be working as well. So I've never really slept in on weekends like everyone else does. Um, but we do get to spend some time together, not as much because she's back to work fully. I've got golf, which takes up a lot of time. Last week, I ended up playing 6 days out of 7, and yeah, so I got I'm getting my money's worth out of it, and I've literally today just bought 1,600 quid's worth of golf clubs.
Wish I had
Yeah.
1,600 quid. Fucking hell. That's something else, isn't
Well,
it?
luckily it's one of those monthly payments. It's 12 months, zero APR. So I thought if it's going to help out my game, it'll be stupid not to. So, and there's so much that goes into golf that people don't understand. There's so much that goes into football, wrestling, and everything that goes around my life. There's a lot that goes into these sort of stuff that's like people don't understand. It's a lot of it's all time consuming. I mean, fuck me. Not long ago, we've had the biggest problem with the place that we're living in now. It's a beautiful place, about 6, 7 years old. It's a 2 bedroom flat,
Lovely.
and
Mm.
yeah, it's a lovely gaff. But the only problem with it all is the communal bins. That's the biggest piss take in the whole entire place. And it's because some people are just fucking lazy. Some people can't be bothered to put things away properly. They can't be bothered to pack down all their boxes to make more room for recycling. And some people leave all of their bags of rubbish out of the bin shed rather than going inside. And 3 times since I've been here this year, I've taken half hour out of my day just to put stuff in their right bins with my litter picker and shit like that because it I want to live somewhere nice. I want to do shit for the community so everyone else is happy as well. Even though it takes time out of my day, if I'm not doing something, like it doesn't take any effort, and I wish more people had that sort of mentality.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. It's just comes down to people, doesn't it? At the end of the day, some people are wonderful, some people are fucking Burks.
Yeah.
Uh, Anything you want to talk about on here, mate? Anything in particular that you maybe something's grinding your gears? Maybe you want to ask something. Maybe you just want to talk about someone you love. I don't know. Like anything you want to talk about?
Um, not. not so much. I mean, obviously, when we're able to practice, I'll have the Diamond Conversation, which is going to be my self podcasts. I'm going to have that coming up hopefully soonish. When we can get the time in to talk about how to
Nice logo.
edit stuff. Yeah, like oh yeah, like you've obviously done my logo and it's fucking moist. It's absolutely lush. Um, but and that's the services I pay for. I'll pay for your services because I know you'll do the job right. You know, you don't give me stuff for free as much as the next person just because we're friends. I don't, like, if I'm gonna get something as extensive like what you've done, it's I'm gonna have to pay for them services, and I'm glad I did because it's a fantastic logo.
Very kind of you, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's my passion as well. So anyone who uses me knows they're getting a product that's going to be super passionate and super customized to what they want. I don't make stuff that I think looks good. I make stuff that I know my client will want to look good. That's the whole point of being where I am. Like, you know, I've seen other designers and things poking fun, making comments and stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. Do your thing, you know, stay in your lane. Like, if that's not your cup of tea, that's cool. But I got my client list. I'm happy with that. And I really
Yeah.
enjoy, that's the most enjoyment I get out of this entire business, is actually being able to help people's dreams come true and make them look great. You know, there's such a, like when Tornado Kid comes out and he's got his new vest on, he's got his logo that I made for him and things. And you just think, man, that's awesome for him, not for me. Like, people are like, that's your logo, that is. I'm like, yeah, but it's his logo now. I just made it, you know. And like, when the Diamond Conversation starts taking off, hopefully people will realize just how fucking entertaining and how popular you are. And it's that thing of, it won't be, ha, I made that logo. It'll be, that's fucking awesome. He's taken that logo and he's made a fucking brand out of it. That's what I
Mm.
want from my clients. I want them to flourish. I want them to succeed. I'm not interested in, you know, getting a small dopamine of glory off of that. It doesn't bother me because at
Mm.
the end of the day, I got my own brand as well. You know, I've got my own basketball jersey. Like, you know, it's these sort of things. Like, you know, that's for me. So when I'm making stuff for other people, that's for them, not for me. And that's the whole mindset people should be in when they're designing things, is you're making it for your client, not for yourself. So yeah, no, it's I'm looking forward to the podcast. Is it going to be very balls to the wall honest? Just basically just, you know, everything you'd expect from the geezer?
Well, I was going to say, well, if you look into Spotify now, I don't know if there is any other. I know I'm pretty sure it's not on Apple and a couple of places, but you can get it off of Poppin, you can get it off of Spotify. There's already 10 episodes, which was from our old one, which me and Joe were the hosts of. We called that the Perspective Podcast. It was way too confusing. Too many people have got their own podcasts called that as well. So it always got lost in communicado. Whilst the Diamond Conversation is the first thing you always like look up, and you can get those 10 episodes on there anyway.
Hmm.
Some of it was good, some of it was a bit boring and tedious. But you know, you're
Hit
not
their
always going to
episodes,
enjoy every single episode. Um, but yeah, hopefully going forward, it's not going to be me and Joe anymore. It's just going to be me going. I'll have Joe on every now and then, just to keep things fresh again. Hopefully, have people like yourself come on quite a lot to upset some people. Hopefully, I can get
Not all I do, you know.
loads of different random people. Like, I want it to be one of those where anyone is welcome. They can come on and they can plug their own brands if they want to. They can come on just for a general chit chat. They can come on and just slag someone rotten if they want to. I don't mind that. And it can be like a major bitch fest. Hell, I'm hoping one day I can get Andrew Tate on and we can both just be sat back just smoking cigars with each other over the internet. But you know, it's one of those. It's gonna be like you say. It's gonna be balls to the wall. It's gonna be edgy, but also there's going to be some form of goodness in there. There's going to be some happiness in there. We'll talk about depression, happiness. We'll talk about, you know, people that in prison, shit like that. Like, we can talk about all that. But also, when I get the right people on, it's going to be hopefully cancel worthy, because everyone knows me. I'm not the most PC person in the world. I don't expect people to come on my podcast and outright start a racist or transphobic war, because there's a difference between poking a little bit of fun and being stereotypical to being downright rude and disgusting. And that's the fine line where you've got to be. Whilst me, I'm a stereotyper. I find I can pick fun out of anyone, and no one can tell me I'm wrong, because I don't give a fuck. How can you cancel the uncancelable?
Yeah. There's a difference, fine line between hate and humor, isn't there? And people don't tend to get it, and that's why people like Ricky Gervais and Jimmy Carr walk that line so well. And yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm one of these people. I don't believe any content should be censored, and I can come on your
Yeah.
podcast and disagree, and it's not a fucking issue. That's the other thing as well that people need to realize is you can disagree with someone, and you don't have to hate them because of it. Like this mentality of I disagree with you, therefore I hate you. Why? Like, who cares? I have arguments with my mates all the time. Like people should see the Wrestle Plug group chat, spicy as fuck. Like, I'm always fucking going after people when they're always going after me. That's because we like testing each other because we're not scared of being outside our comfort zone there. That's a free space.
I
Do what they want.
yeah, I absolutely love having a debate with people. I love like saying something, someone disagreeing with me, and then we can go backwards and forwards talking about, why we believe our word is correct. But for and sometimes, if someone says something that overrules me, I can just like, you know what, you got a fair point there. But it's the people that really annoy me are the ones that you'll say a good point to, and they'll just be like, "Oh no, it's full of shit. I'm not going to listen to that." I'm just like, well, this is the reason why we're not friends. Like, I hope you don't come into my friendship group, because I'll bully the fuck out of you.
Not allowed to bully people. Be more woke.
I'll get fucked. Some people deserve to get bullied because it brings them into the fucking real world.
Looking at you, Kenway.
No,
Missed the
it's
four
not for
months
your
of
colour.
retirement.
It's because you're a little bitch.
Do you miss the knobs at all?
Yeah, I do miss the knobs. I will say I do miss the knobs. It's we've all had our differences and whatnot, but it's one of them. I I've had to leave because it's not for me. That Simon and Dave, they can do their own little thing. They were the original knobs anyway. They can take it to whatever heights they want to do. Kenway, he retired and then decided to come back after a miraculous 4 months. And I'd love to team with him again and like have a laugh and giggle with him and whatnot. And me, there's no point me going back to him, because I'm just going to end up. I'm going to be retiring anyway. So it's for me, knobs are all dead in the water for my like from me, but they can still go out there and make something good of it. Like if they work hard and put their stuff towards it, and don't be lazy with social media like I am. I mean, I was the one that made the TikTok for it, and and it fell apart just because I
Yeah.
was too lazy.
You talk about people on TikTok being groomers, but I'm pretty sure there's a few videos of you.
There's only two, isn't there?
The weightlifting one is still gold, like the one that we've got on Wrestle Plug, with the Mario theme and stuff. That's all those weight
Oh yeah,
ones were great. The fitness level ones, they were fucking funny as shit. Like you really had a gold mine there. It's again, it comes down to motivation, doesn't it? Like people don't realize. Yeah, anyone can have social media, but not everyone can create content for social media that is engaging, that people enjoy. And that's something that I've had to learn through the process of the last probably 6 or so years, is that not everything fucking works. You got to go trial and error. You got to try different things. You got to have, unique content, unique perspective. Like you said, I don't want a woke podcast. I don't want a podcast that doesn't test people. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that the majority of my guests always say that's one of the more engaging conversations I've ever had about pro wrestling. And it's because I'm not going to ask, oh, where did you learn to train? You can fucking find out in 5 minutes on Wikipedia. Let's delve in. Let's find out what's in
yeah.
somebody's soul, what's in their mind. That's the most important thing. I can't be fucked
Talk
with.
about the time you fingered someone.
I mean, if Kenway wants to come on and talk about his darker side, yeah, it's all good, man. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's somebody been there going, actually, speaking out, Eddie Kenway. He said, honestly, you could ask. The reason that's funny is because he literally is the nicest guy in wrestling. Like, he's just a fucking teddy bear. Like, he's never
You
going to.
know what? The reason that wrestling is ruined nowadays, speaking out is the reason. I blame speaking out. Fuck speaking out.
Cool. I look forward to your emails. Yeah, I know, right? A fucking whopper you got there.
I'm
I'll
just
tell
waiting
you.
for someone to go. "Oh."
You're going to need more than a fishing rod to reel that one in. Fuck me. Get yourself a trawler, bro. Um, yeah. Yeah, no, I think I would say that's the perfect place to leave it, but it fucking ain't. Yeah, social media
What's
wise,
that?
where can people get at you, mate? Where can they, if you can be asked to post or reply to people, where's the best place to catch you?
Oh, we always reply to people. On Instagram, it's Ebeneeza with full stops in between each letter. On Twitter, I believe it's FTG underscore geezer. Um, yeah. And then on Facebook, it's just Ebenezer. If people do message me, I'll always reply. That's no problem whatsoever. Um, Fans and that I don't agree with adding me on my personal Facebook because it's personal. Like stay
That's
within
a
the
grey
Ebenezer.
area, isn't it?
Yeah, stay within the older Ebenezer tolerances. I've
Might
already
end
had
up in
someone.
someone's cover picture, mate.
No, I've already been in someone's already been in my DMs asking me if I'm married, and I'm just there thinking, "Whoa."
Yeah, to
They
me. Keep your hands off. Get your own fucking geezer, you slag. Honestly,
but
throwing
yeah, they're
yourself
the
around at all the wrestlers like some cheap tart.
yeah they're the all the social media you can find me on. I don't have Snapchat because I'm not 12 years old anymore. I don't have TikTok because I'm not a groomer. Um, yeah, and I don't have LinkedIn because I've never even been on LinkedIn. So fuck
One
it.
wrestlers right now, they're extremely uncomfortable with it because I know a lot of them have TikToks, don't they, nowadays? The big thing. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
groomer? What? Wait, nah. They're proper
Oh,
going to
and
be combing through their followers tonight. Remove, 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 remove. Like shit in their pants.
I don't have OnlyFans either, but if you do ask nicely, I might send you a picture of my ass.
There you go. Or his massive balls. Yeah, yeah, they have to be
Oh
seen.
yeah, to be fair, I do have a video of my ball swinging in the wind. It's like a pendulum.
It looks like the Miley
Oh.
Cyrus Wrecking Ball video. It's amazing. I reckon I could hang off of those things. Like, hey, those things are fantastic. No wonder your missus is always grinning her ass off, mate. She must be like a cat with a woolen ball. Yeah, exactly. She knows. She can hear. I know she's listening. And batting them around like a sexy piece of wool. I love it.
Oh no, she's not listening. She's currently in the other room sorting out her bookshelf.
What a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Dork. What a wrestle dork.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. If there are anyone listening that are into books and stuff, go onto Instagram and search in "spam me with books." That is my Mrs. Book Instagram. She is a bookmaker. So if there's anything that you do like, if there's anything that needs typesetting and stuff like that, have a little look on there. And if you want anything hardbacked and shit like that, give her a shout. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll get hold of you as well, and you can have a little chat with her because she does for a beginner. She is the nuts at making books, not writing them, making the fuckers. They are. And I fucking hate reading. I was elected to lead, not elected to read.
Thank you. There's some woke tart somewhere who's like, that's racist. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, no, definitely. It's very cool. It's very cool that you both of you are like branching out and doing your own thing, like finding new creativities. I think so many people in our business need to realize wrestling is not the be all and end all. Like there is life
No, it's
after wrestling, man. There really is. And the guys who don't have life after it, I really feel sorry for these people who just can't let it go. It's really sad because it's just like, man, You know, that's why I get pissed off sometimes because I want a life outside of that. I want to fucking find somebody and settle down on that sort of shit and do other stuff with them. I don't want to fucking spend my entire life in the wrestling business. I love it, but it's not my entire life. I don't want it to be. And that's where
Yeah.
that's where the energy kind of dips sometimes, where the anxiety and stuff comes in. You think, fucking hell, I'd like to do something different actually. And that's why it's really cool for me to be able to do new gigs like music festivals, weddings, doing Shakespeare plays and things like that. Because it's broadening your horizons. Try something else. Don't just get lost. I get it. Like, especially if you're a big star, you got to work so fucking hard at it. But even the stars need something to do on their downtime.
You
The
have
Rock
to, like,
proved that.
if you've made wrestling your work, then you need another hobby. This is like wrestling isn't work anymore, but at one stage it started to become it. But for me, now golf is my favorite thing to do in the world. I absolutely love golf. It's the best thing that I've done in so long, and I wish that I'd done it, that I started and took it more seriously earlier in my years. But now I do it as a hobby because I know I'm not going to make it to the PGA. I know I'm not going to make it to Live Tour. I'm just doing it to fulfill my weekends. I'm doing it now because I'm also the third generation in my family on to join the same club at the same time.
The Rocky Maivia of council golf.
Well, that you just said it in a nutshell. I'm a full-time geezer playing council golf. Like it writes itself.
I just like the idea of you on the PGA tour, and every time Poulter goes for a swing, you go, "You're dumb! Whoa, fuck off!" We need golf needs more banter. That's what that needs. Like,
Or every time I miss a putt like that, I go, "Fuck off, you slag!"
just quickly, did you watch the Masters?
No, I did. I saw the results, and I did see a lot of the highlights over the weekend, and it did look absolutely banging. I felt sorry for Kepka for not winning it after leading over the 3 days, but it just proves if you haven't got it on the last day, then there's no point in even entering the conversation. You know, if he's gonna like if the pressure's that much for you, then there's no reason for you to be the number one, which John Rahm is. John Rahm has been number one for a while, and he fucking thoroughly deserves it because just look at it. Look, he started the whole weekend with a 4 putt, and in golf, that's an embarrassment. If he started the weekend with that, and he's come out and won the whole Masters, got his green jacket, his $4 million purse. Fucking the man is on top of the world right now.
You got to win the Masters once to be set for life, haven't you? Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. Is that the dream, do you reckon, to play on that course?
Um, my dream would be to play on a prestigious American course. The Masters probably not because it's way too prestigious for someone like me. Maybe there are ways that you can get out there if you're invited and if you're, say like an influencer or something like that. I'd love to. I think Donald Trump was playing the other day at the Masters. Um, I would love to go out there one day and be invited to play on one of the prestigious courses because there is. Me and my mates were talking about the other day. I can't remember what course it was, but you get like the hotel, you get all the food, buggies, clubs, all everything all included. But you have to pay £30,000 for the experience, and that's a major place out in America, and that's not a major tournament. So
Volumes, done it. 30 grand.
30 grand just for playing on the course for 4 days. That's
Get
it.
selling those t-shirts, hun.
Yeah.
Crack on.
Hopefully, Win will pay it for me. I'll put
Yeah,
I'll
you
put it
never
on the
know.
tax expenses.
You're still young enough. I'm getting too old for this shit. But I'll tell you what, like Wrestle Plug ain't ever going to find itself as a brand on a golf course, but Win brand could. Absolutely. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm open. So, I mean, I've religiously used for golf stuff. I always use either Callaway or a new one that's coming into it called Druids, and Druids are absolutely banging for golf stuff. They have got so many Larry like t-shirts. I I'm stocked up with Druid stuff. Fucking absolutely love it.
That'll be the next port of call for Wimbrand. Make some golfing gear, mate, innit? Separate your brands.
Well, this is what I'm hoping for it to go down them sort of lines, because even if we get, say, like trousers, we get polo shirts, get jumpers and stuff like that, I'm hoping to do a separate thing, because also Druids, they do gym wear. So it is sort of like a sports brand in its own, but it's currently like all of it is on golf, but and there are separate stuff for gym wear, but they are starting to get bigger, and all it is they're constantly uploading stuff, they're constantly advertising. And if it weren't for me going there at one time and really liking the feel of their stuff, I, I wouldn't think twice about it. But I'm glad I did, and now they've got a buyer for life now,
Happy
and
days.
I'm hoping that will happen with Win.
Fingers crossed, mate. Well, it's been a pleasure as always. Episode number 4 of the Geezer has been put in the books. Don't forget to follow his social media, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else you want to add, mate? Or are we done here?
I suppose we're done here for the minute, I suppose, and then we'll have to crack on to with some other stuff soon enough.
Yes, we will. Look forward to seeing the diamond conversation in full effect, particularly when Andrew Tate comes on. And he's going to fucking hurt a lot of people. But in the meantime, from myself, Aaron X, and especially from Ebeneeza the Geezer, I guess I'll see you on the blacklist, mate. And yeah, I will catch you down the road, hopefully sooner rather than later. We need to minimize that gap between podcasts, don't we, and make it a little bit more of a regular thing. So hopefully we'll get you on State Wrestling Address at some point. We're doing one tonight, so you're always welcome to join if you like. It's just going to be pure racial shithousery.
Well, whilst you're doing the Silent and the Death Machine, we'll have to go out there and get the Pyramid of Giza going.
Yeah, the pyramids of Giza will be fucking incredible. Like, imagine the t-shirts. Oh my lord. Like,
just me and you, like having the tips of the heads where the dogs are supposed to be, or on top of the pyramids itself.
the Sphinx sausage in full effect, man. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. People need to know. But yeah, Ebeneeza, of course, will be at June the 24th's IWE show, the Swords of Anarchy. But before that, it'll be at CWP Wrestle Jam. That's April the 30th. So make sure you get to Southampton to check that out. I'll be smacking around a couple of dorks from Bournemouth, a couple of fools. I can't remember what their names are. Yeah, I don't know. Thrash dorks, thrash tart, I don't know. Thrash tarts. I don't know. Fucking whatever. Pair of fucking losers who just copy my content and then put their own crappy version of it online, whatever it is. So that's cool. I look forward to your emails, JC Cardi and Thrash Katie, you fucking pair of dorks. You're not going to do anything about it because I'll slap both of you around like a pair of baby back bitches. But yeah, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, just got to get that extra bit of heat, ain't you? While you can.
Just got to get the anger out. What?
Fucking knife right in the back, man. That's what I do. I like fucking stabbing people in the back. I'm like Richard Nixon for wrestling, mate. That's what I am. I like to cock a mother down. But yeah, until then, ladies and gentlemen, fuck off. Do something else with your lives, and we'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.
See you on the blacklist, motherfuckers.
You on the old Jaws of Life, the old Spocker, right up JC Cardi's crack, you know?
Win.
Fucking, I'll give him a win brand.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, you slut.